What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the JTH Show, a live show. We're trying to do as many as we can of these. Now, I don't feel so alone because I actually have now a very good friend of mine and co-host of the show, Josh Lambert. So, yeah, Josh, welcome.
Hello, very excited. This is my first live stream on YouTube ever, so if you're watching, hello. And yeah, let's have some fun, I guess.
Let's have some fun. And Josh will be monitoring the Facebook and YouTube for any comments that we might get. We're very small. Maybe no one's watching. Who knows? But if there's a comment, drop a hi. What's up? What's going on? Everything starts somewhere, and this is no exception. For today, we're gonna talk about something as simple as movies. It's Friday. We don't want to have a too heavy of a show with like bad news or news that gets people down. I am a big fan of movies. In fact, today I had an interview with someone and they asked me, so why is it that you do the whole JTH show? And I'm like, honestly, I just love everything about video production, cinematography. I mean, I'm a big nerd when it comes to all that. And, I love the news, of course, that comes out of Hollywood as well when it comes to movies. And one of them that has me very excited is the new anticipated, I shouldn't say new, it technically has already been released, but the anticipated Snyder Cut for the Justice League. Personally speaking, I'm super stoked over it. Especially because personally I like the Snyder movies. Okay, I know some people will say that they feel the same. That's fine. I like the fact that it's a little different than Marvel. And I think that unfortunately what went wrong mainly with the original Justice League is that it was done by someone that came in to take over after Zack Snyder left the production, when it was originally shooting. And that was Joss Whedon, right? Who came in after Snyder and, kind of just, I don't know, in my opinion at least, marveled it up. If you guys don't know, Joss Whedon, I usually have Nods, our producer, put all these nice pictures. I don't have him here today. But you just can imagine that this is the guy who created, way back in the day, the somewhat cult series Buffy the Vampire Slayer, right? With Michelle Gellar, Michelle Gellar, excuse me. And, they tapped him to come in to do the first Avengers movie, which, you know what? Respectfully, he did a good job. I think everybody loved it, and that's good and all. However, when they tapped him to do the Justice League movie, in my opinion, he marveled it up, and it doesn't work. It doesn't work because the story that Snyder was telling with the first Superman movie, with the Batman v Superman, say what you say about them, whatever you want about them, but he already had, something going on with the movies, with the feel, with the story. And the Justice League movie came in, or the Justice movie at the end ended up being something completely different, right? A more happy, smiling all over the place Bruce Wayne, played by Ben Affleck, and it's just the whole mustache thing with the actor Henry Cavill. It was a mess. So I'm excited to see that. Here we have. Let me see if I can show you guys real quick. We have supposedly, according to this article, real quick. Boom. From Screen Rant, which is where I get a lot of my news, we have Justice League Snyder Cut release date officially announced. So on here, we see that, we have finally Zack Snyder tweeting out some pictures, which is kind of what set this whole thing off in motion. And the date we have on here is March 18, which is right around the corner, right? Now, I don't know why the Twitter pictures are not loading, but they're pretty cool. Even those I'm excited for. Let me see if I can load one up right now. Let me see. And yeah, it's there. So, it looks pretty cool to me. It's a lot of these look the same, but it's 3/18. It's going to be released on HBO Max. And a lot of what's happening, by the way, which we're going to talk about today, is being released on HBO Max. So again, pretty cool. There is some other information they're going to be releasing out of here. But Josh, what is your thought on all this? How do you feel about it?
Well, it's kind of like the difference between Coke and Pepsi, right? DC versus Marvel. As you can see, I've got one light here. Ooh, that's the Marvel one. Red, DC blue.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is definitely the difference between like Coke and Pepsi. They are very different. Do not mix the two up because you get a lot of people on the internet very upset, basically. So Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of interested. I've never been too much into the whole comic book world, but when you get into these movies, you have to. I think we said in a couple of episodes back that was one of our edited episodes that you just got to enjoy them for what they are. Don't don't go in there expecting to see a 3 hour Norwegian black and white film that's silent. You're not going to be satisfied. You just have to enjoy it for what it is, and that's
Yeah,
it. Uh,
yeah. No, I mean, no, you're right. I mean, that's totally true. I think that's how way I'm expecting these movies to be, right? Just fun, a little bit of brain numbing. Some of us that are kind of geeky over them, we're gonna totally be happy to see any name dropping or even little clues, right? I think increasingly over probably maybe the last 10, 12 years, maybe we have seen people get very excited for like these Easter eggs, and I'm no exception. I love them. I love to see them. Little hints that we get it during writing and producing and all that stuff. You really can have something out there that you film and you go through all this budget to film it, but an Easter egg kind of subsidize that, right? And you get kind of like that satisfying like as a nerd. Now, as someone that's just watching the movie, like you said, yeah, it's totally true. Like you just you gotta take them from what they are. Which with that, we can move on to the next bit of news, and that is the Godzilla versus Kong movie, which I'm excited for, but again, like Josh said, because I'm gonna take it for what it is, right? What I'm not looking for here is for this long-winded story about humans. I'm just not. She's been on. I really like her as an actress, but this is not, in my opinion, a movie that hopefully will overfocus on her because they're gonna ruin it, right? Because we're there to see action. We're there to see two of the biggest names in monsters, kind of say gigantic monsters kind of thing fighting, and that's what I'm there to pay. But that obviously that's my opinion. What do you think?
Connection there, but I'm back. That's the fun of live TV or live YouTube, whatever. Who watches TV anyway? But yeah, I think like what you said, it's it kind of harkens back to the good old days of cinema, where monster movies were a thing, Wolfman, zombies, mummies, all that kind of thing. So if they try and keep it to what that movie is going to be popular for, it'll be great. But if they try and mix in some romantic subplot which didn't go anywhere, like I'm not sure if I don't know much about the movies either, but about the Silent Hill movies,
Yeah.
they were actually they were absolutely harangued because they try to add in like some romantic subplots and stuff like that. And it's like, why would you do that? The source material is good. Leave it. Don't mess around.
Yeah, yeah,
You're
yeah.
gonna
No,
make some people upset.
exactly. I think it comes down to, people are there to see a movie that they grew up with, when it comes to the main characters, right? Not really like the supporting characters. And I think what happens a lot of the times is that they end up, like you said, adding subplots that really go nowhere. They add only because of the actors that are playing the movie, but it's really not going anywhere, right? It's just like again, subplots that were created after the whole original source material, and they're there just to say like, oh well, look at this famous actors slash actor that is here, and we're kind of shoving him in your face, even though they have nothing to do with why you're sitting here watching the movie in the first place. You know what I mean?
Right, yeah. It's kind of like you remember the Expendables?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
They kind of that's like the whole premise of that movie is those guys just mentioning pretty much all the work that they've done in the past. Who is it? It's Sylvester Stallone and Arnold
Hmm.
Schwarzenegger, the main guys, right? But there's a whole cast of action heroes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, I mean,
Exactly. Yeah.
you know, it'll be
Now
interesting to see what they do with it.
here's what I'm looking forward to. By the way, here, let me see if I can share this bit of screen here real quick, and let me see if I won't mess it up. I probably will. Here's what I'm looking forward to. Boom, right there. Like that is what I'm looking forward to. You know what I mean? Like that is what we're there to see. Like two gigantic monsters just, just dueling it out, hitting each other,
Right.
tearing each other. If anything, what I'm looking for is for some gushing in blood, from these monsters. By the way, on this stream, I'm gonna declare right now that I think that King Kong will kick Godzilla's ass. And I know my buddy. I won't mention him because I don't want to piss him off. I don't know if I'm okay with mentioning his name, but I'll just say, you know who you are. He's like a super gigantic Godzilla fan. And, I don't know if they're going to completely disagree, but I'm sorry. And I'm going to make my case as to why I think that Godzilla is gonna kick ass. But here, I'll let you say it first. Who do you think is gonna win?
Well, I'm gonna have to go with King Kong. Why? Because he is a primate, and he might have at least he might be smarter to be able to actually use tools and stuff like that. You see what I mean? Whereas
Yeah.
Godzilla is just a reptile.
Yeah. So here's what I'll say. And then there again. Let me see if I can put myself back on the screen. 1 second. And then put you back on the screen. 1 second. Sorry, guys. There we go. So here's what I'll say. All right, we got to consider this real quick. Godzilla, okay, is like you said, a primate. A primate. I'm sorry. He moves a lot faster from what we've seen and everything. Although the current depiction, I don't know about movies in like the freaking 80s and stuff like that. But currently in the movies we've seen, he moves like a primate, right? He like jungles around and he's fast. He's agile. Godzilla, not so much. Godzilla is fast on water, sure, but we gotta be real about a couple things that have happened again in this universe. Godzilla in the past two movies has won exclusively because he has been helped by humans. I want you to recall that. Again, some of us might not remember the movies. I just watched them not too long ago. In the very last movie that we just saw, the other creatures, I remember the names, excuse me, for all the super fans out there. I don't remember them, like the butterfly thing and all the other ones, right? Like the freaking mantis kind of thing. They had him on the ropes. The guy was out, right? Where you had a human to I think they nuked him or something to get him revived, right? And they have had a lot of human help, or he has had a lot of human help along the way to beat his adversaries, as opposed to Godzilla, who really has held his own. And allegedly, in a previous review that I saw, Godzilla was only like a teen or something, or a very young adult primate. Here, this is a few years later, supposedly full grown adult. I'm sorry, I got my money on Godzilla. Now, here's what I think is going to happen, because they don't want to piss anyone off, because they don't want to piss off the Godzilla fans or the King fans. I think they're gonna do it where it's a even, what do you call that, a draw, right? And then ultimately they're gonna be like, but there will be a part two. Now the cool thing is, if one kicks the other one's ass, and then you give me a part two, like a rematch. But I think it's gonna be a draw.
We'll see. We'll see. I'm actually thinking that it's going to be some kind of subliminal message when it's like, we have to look after the environment, or we have to be more politically aware. Something like that. That's what I have my money on. I mean, did you see that in the prequels, like the Star Wars ones?
Yeah, the newest ones.
Yeah, exactly.
No, man.
Exactly
I really hope not. They are going to kill it, in my opinion, if they go off trying to be, I don't know, hip and woke with it. People are at a point, in my opinion, again, and I keep saying my opinion because a lot of people take it as fact. This is just one dude's opinion. People right now at a point where they need a little mind numbing, right? They a little distraction. They don't need, for a movie like Godzilla versus King, to get political. It's just show me the action. What is it going to be, like an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours? And I doubt it. Maybe an hour 45. I just want to see two big animals, or big beasts or monsters, whatever you want to call them, just go at it. And that's all I want to see. I don't want to see, like you said, anything about the movie trying to send a message that I need to be more green and conservative in terms of not being wasteful. So I agree with you. I hope not, man. Fingers crossed.
It'll be the real winner is global warming.
Oh God, dude. Don't jinx it. Take it back. Don't jinx it, man. That would be horrible if that ends up being the case. Yeah, I don't know, but I'll tell you one thing that another movie that we have right here, waiting to talk about. I hope not. I hope not. But another movie here that we're gonna talk about real quick here is this Black Adam movie here. Let me see if I can put it back on the screen real quick for you guys. Boom. All right, guys. So on this here, we have news that supposedly Black Adam is getting a whole new redesign. Now, this is the last story that we have, and it's just a little quick punch at how powerful some of these elites are when it comes to what they can do in Hollywood. And you have Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, who will play the character Black Adam in the upcoming movies for DC. And let me tell you something, Dwayne has gotten away with a lot, and is one of those guys that, at least in my opinion, is a bit of a prima donna when it comes to what exactly he is able to require when he enters either a franchise or when he starts his own movie. So recently, if you guys don't know, and I don't have that here pulled up ready for you guys, there is like this story behind the whole Fast and the Furious franchise where Tyrese was going at it with him and arguing with him because essentially, Dwayne got it into his contract that if he was going to participate in the Fast Five or in the Fast and the Furious saga, that he can later on take this whole new made up character Hobbs and create a movie of his own, which, if you guys don't know, he was able to do that. Right. And of course, it didn't sit well with a veteran of the series like Tyrese, who was like, wait a minute, dude, what the hell are you talking about? Like, I literally helped make the second, the Fast and the Furious movie, right, with Paul Walker. And all of a sudden, here comes The Rock and is able to just take it away and make his own little movies out of it, which, whatever, that's besides the point. Here, however, it looks like The Rock did something yet again similar, where he ends up essentially having DC and the creators of the character completely reshape the character's persona, characteristics to resemble The Rock more. Which, again, it's like even the article says here, is it's not surprising, right, that this redesign will look more like Dwayne The Rock, because again, the history behind kind of like the requirements that The Rock has. I'm not saying it's the right thing. I'm not saying it's okay, but it is basically what's happening right now. I don't know. I think that whatever, but I'm not surprised. Are you?
No, not really. I mean, it's kind of funny that you mentioned that with the Fast and Furious, because it's like I think it's Vin Diesel, right? The other actor.
Yeah.
They're very similar typecast. It's like, hey, I'm the bald, ripped guy in this series. What the hell,
Yeah.
But yeah, as far as what he's done here, I don't know. I mean, purists are they're gonna be pissed. I'm not gonna lie. Like most comic book fans, they're gonna be straight in the YouTube comment section, like, "Oh, this is an outrage." But in the end, it's like, I don't know. I mean,
well, rightfully so, right?
Right.
I mean,
yeah, I guess I could see the point, but I'm kind of more laid back about it. I'm not too purist about it, so it's like, if he does a good job of it, great. If he doesn't, well, that was his own fault, wasn't it?
So I think that he is. I mean, to be fair, I think that there is, an opportunity for The Rock to do a good job. Besides my points that I just made about him being a little bit of a prima donna, I actually like his movies. I don't mind The Rock's movies. Kind of like, again, going back to what you have been saying, they're not like these movies where they're like profoundly touching and I don't know, Academy Award movies. It is what it is. They are what they are. It's like that Skyscraper movie. Like, I don't know for how long it made news. Like, oh, it tanks, or it didn't do this, and it's like, excuse my language here, but no shit. Like, it's an action movie about a guy who I think had a prosthetic leg, who like jumps over a building. That's literally the biggest highlight, and it's like happens to be really buff, of course, because it's a Rock. But I mean, what do you guys expect out of a movie called, first of all, Skyscraper? And it's again a guy that like his his family was taken. It's like taken all over again with Liam Neeson. You know, it's like, except it's in a skyscraper. And the guy knows how to somehow fight because he has like this background. It's like the same story done and done all over again, right? And I think that Black Adam, along with a lot of these movies that we just mentioned, should be taken exactly for what they are, right? Kind of like when you picked up the comic book, at least I did, by the way, when I was young. I picked up a comic book about these characters. I didn't freaking sit there as a kid or even as an adolescent and I'm like, you know what? This comic book didn't touch me. It you know, like it didn't, you know, I don't connect with it. No, you picked it up and you're like, next page. Oh shit, he hit his face. Next page. Oh my God, it's, you know, and that's it. You close the book, boom, you moved on, right? So I guess all in all, I mean, I don't know. You guys can let us know on the comments down below if you guys expect something differently. But all I'm gonna say is this: as long as they don't, you know, try to kind of like convert it into a Marvel universe feel kind of thing, that's all I asked for, right? Leave Marvel with what made Marvel great. And DC, you kind of have to sail your own ship. You know, you kind of have to kind of do your own thing. You know what I mean?
That's true. You know, it's funny you should say that because there's only what I could think of off the top of my head from the DC or from this whole comic book universe that has actually been able to impact culture in a way, if you want to call it that. And that was 2019's Joker. That was a fantastic film, crossed over almost into the art genre. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. I mean, also thinking about that, Christopher Nolan's Batman as well. That particular series, the three, what was it? Batman Begins, Dark Knight, and Dark Knight Rises. Fantastic, really well done. It's gone beyond the point of it just being like that junk food movie. You know, it actually has a really good story, really well done. Cinematography is full. It just, particularly Joker, just really well done.
Yeah. No, listen, the Joker, I'm 100%, dude. Like, I cannot agree more. The Joker there was something else. Like, I went to go see that one with my wife, right? And even she that she's not a big fan of like all these superhero movies. Like, she'll see them, you know, for the sake of just like sitting there with us, you know, with me and my kids. But she was like, wow, that's actually not a bad movie. I remember her saying like, yeah, it was, you know, the portrayal of Joaquin Phoenix, you know, was pretty high up there. You know, it wasn't even one of those things like, oh, was it better than like, you know, than Heath Ledger's performance of? It's just different. It was a different Joker, which is what we were looking for, right? Different, not in a oh, I can outdo Heath Ledger. It was just a different. Even the movie, I think, was the feel of it was a different time, right? So, yeah, it was fantastic. Yeah, I
didn't fall into the trap that like Jared Leto did or something like that. You know, like Heath Ledger was apparently, I don't know if he's, well, God rest his soul, if he's more of a method actor, but I understand the route that Jared Leto trying more of an actor and being stuff like that. It did not pay off for him, and that's why they came back.
I think the biggest problem with Jared Leto's portrayal is that I think he tried to make sure that he was going to go ahead and beat, or at least make in his own right, like this memorable Joker that was going to be almost the opposite, right, of Heath Ledger's Joker, and he took it completely like, just, you know, if Heath Ledger, if you remember, did a little makeup and it was like very, you know, messed up and everything. I'm not sure if you remember him, you know, vividly, the whole concept. They looked like he did it with his hands, you know, like the whole red, you know, makeup here, and the hair was messy. That character that Jared Leto did was like the perfect hair, very like mine, very groomed, right? Like the makeup was like very much covered everywhere, every inch. The lipstick or whatever they use, right, was, again, everything was like crisp and clean. And I don't think that resonated with a lot of people. I know that some defended it and they're like, oh, well, you are not like the biggest Joker fan, and there are some comic books. I understand, but listen, popular vote or majority vote is majority vote, and most people did not like that portrayal, right? Now, the portrayal by Joaquin Phoenix is a completely different story, right? Because they took us in deeper. They took us kind of like, I even heard this from a comic book reviewer or a movie reviewer or whatever. Is like they took us beyond the makeup. You know what I mean?
Hmm. Yeah, like when he was what's his name? Arthur Fleck.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, we do have someone who's actually commenting in now. Who's did JT just say his hair is like Jared Leto's?
Oh God, I didn't mean to say it like that. You know, I was giving an example. I'm not trying to say I'm Jared Leto, but yeah, you know, as opposed to Joaquin Phoenix, right? Or Heath Ledger, where they were all messy. You know, tell me
Right.
that what's his name? You know, Jared Leto didn't go with like the whole like super. You know, I don't know how many. He probably wore more hair product than I do. You know, just to make it super
Right.
slick back. And again, the cleanliness of that character, I don't think is what resonated. You know what I mean?
It was too cartoonish. I mean, that movie was a hot mess anyway, you know. So
Yeah, exactly. So I personally, all I'm asking here is that eventually we get to the point where they give us, right, and then in the DC universe that's, you know, unveiling right now as we speak, and it's on, you know, they're developing it, to be fair, you know, and we get it, pandemic, and you know, directors left, they come, whatever. I just hope that they mix everything well. Now I'll tell you what, I'm a little worried with how they're gonna mix in Shazam. Did you watch that one?
Shazam? No, I haven't actually seen that one. Sorry, I've just got this. I got AI Nerd commenting in as well. He said, "I'm only here for watching the ads." Well, thanks for joining us anyway. Both hairstyles aren't natural. I'm not sure what you mean by that.
So what we were talking about earlier is that the hairstyles that I think people wanted to see from the Joker, in terms of like the Joaquin Phoenix version and then the Heath Ledger version, was that they were that of a deranged man kind of thing, kind of so to speak. You know, just kind of like hanging there. Both hairs were really really long, were oily, greasy. You know, just again of someone that's not all there, as opposed to the Jared Leto character, who looked like he was very concerned with taking care of his like appearance, you know, like his clothes. I'm just saying, go back and watch it. His clothes was like very nicely fitted and pressed, and like the whole thing was like guy, like other than the white face, you know, and the green hair, turn that green black, and you know, natural color skin. He looked like he's ready for the Oscars, my friend. That's what we're talking about. AI nerd. I'm sorry that you know, that's what to us, you know, at least to me, that's what I'm talking about. As opposed to someone like, again, the Joaquin Phoenix or the Heath Ledger, I think resonated more with people because that's someone that, you know, if you were the Joker, you would your hair would be the last effing thing you think about, right? Or your beard or anything like that. You know, your mind would be elsewhere. I mean, unless the Jared Leto character doesn't grow a beard, the guy was like also clean shaven. So it's like, how deranged can you actually be? But hey, listen, whatever, man. That's another version. That's all we can say. Now, in terms of what happened? Hey, oh, just trolling you. Yeah, we know. Oh, we love AI Nerd. I know AI Nerd personally. We love him. I love the guy. That's the guy I was telling you guys earlier that I had an interview with. It's gonna be hopefully out soon. He's the best. So listen, going back to what I was saying just a minute ago, when it comes to like the universe, right, and like molding everything together, I don't know how they're gonna fit Shazam back into like the universe, because Shazam, and for anybody listening, you're welcome to disagree with me or agree with me. It felt like they were that very went very well Marvel. It went Marvel style, you know, with Levi. I don't know his first name, the actor. Very funny guy. You know, I know him from other series. Funny guy, but again, it went Marvel-ish to me. So I don't know how that's gonna fit back into, you know, the DC universe. Then again, I think some of you guys might have seen my review on Wonder Woman. I guess it kind of works now because Wonder Woman has also gone Marvel, right? But that's just my. By the way, did you see the Marvel movie or the Wonder Woman?
I haven't seen it yet. I haven't lost that hour and a half of my life yet.
Oh, so you did see my review.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I saw the original one, the first one of the more recent series. Um, so
1984?
basically, shoot,
Because
I
there's
can't
there's
remember.
two, right? We have the old one and the 1984 recently.
No, this one came out like 4 years ago now.
Oh yeah, that,
Four
no,
years
that's
ago.
the yeah, that's the first one. The first one was fine. The first one, I will say, I like the first one. It was solid, you know. The 1984. I'm sorry, I had a relative of mine message me back saying, "What was your problem with it?" Because he saw my review and he took it to heart or something. I'm like, dude, I effing hated it, and I can tell you a long list, right? Which we'll probably leave it for another stream. But just everything. Compare the two movies. Hey, listen, don't take it from me. Take it from even Rotten Tomatoes, and other critics. Like it was almost like, even though it was directed by Patty Jenkins, right, the same director, same actor as Godot. I don't know about the same writers, but it felt like a completely different, disconnected universe between, again, the Wonder Woman we saw in the first one and then the Wonder Woman in 1984. It just felt rushed. It felt very, I don't know, woke, trying to be in touch with like every single aspect of like what's happening right now in modern times. It, for me, it just didn't work. But again, if anybody wants to waste 2 hours of their time, by all means, if you want to talk it over, I'm willing to talk it over, and we're welcome to tell me why it's the best movie you guys have seen, or even decent movie you guys have seen this year. But it didn't work for me, and I don't know how that's gonna work out. Just like Shazam with the DC universe, without making another just cluster F of movies and making it feel like they're ripping off Marvel. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. I think that's the thing that DC really needs to focus on. Instead of trying to compete with Marvel, they should do their own thing. And it has paid off for them in the past, like we said, with Joker, with the Batman from Christopher Nolan, and all that kind of thing. It has paid off for them. If they do try and do this like crash bang wallet Marvel style movie, which Marvel has gotten down to a fine art, with the Avengers movies being so popular, and even now they've branched. Oh, I don't want to piss anybody off, but Deadpool is Marvel, right?
Um, yeah.
Oh, thank God.
Deadpool is
Yeah,
Marvel. Yeah, Deadpool is Marvel, but I will say that Deadpool tried to completely separate themselves from like the whole Marvel stuff. They didn't use dark color coding and stuff like that on their movies, but they completely try to separate and say this is not a kids movie. This is an adult R-rated movie. And to be fair, Ryan Reynolds did a great job, by the way, a great, fantastic job.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean that's our take, on these movies, this news that's coming up. It's a Friday, good feel news day. Just, there's enough negativity out there. We had a release, by the way, if you haven't caught it, a video earlier about like the Proud Boys or some stuff like that. We'll leave that for a video you guys can watch later. This was more a feel good, what's happening in movies, if anybody enjoys watching movies and stuff like that. But yeah, I think that's it, Josh, right?
Yeah, I think that's it. Well, thank you for commenting and having your say. It's always great to have his opinion, because particularly in this subject, I have no idea what you're about. So yeah, feel free to comment and absolutely hate on what I'm saying or what we're saying.
Yeah, that's right. So yeah, I mean that's it, guys, for today. We appreciate you guys tuning in. We appreciate you guys, dropping comments on below. Shout out to AR Nerd. Shout out to all you guys, who took time out of your day to watch this. Hopefully, as time goes by, we're gonna be adding more and more people and get conversations going, which is why I live to do these shows. But yeah, Josh, you good?
That's it. You guys have a great weekend. See you soon.
That's it, guys. And yeah, until next time. And as always,